Hi, Orange Girl here with another scrapbooking process video for you. I am participating in a YouTube hop today called Feels Like Summer, and this photo of my daughter is definitely what our summer is all about. By the water, in a forest, or a park, or whatever. That's kind of what we like to do in the summer. I am working with Garden Party, which is Maggie Holmes' most recent collection. And off camera, I pulled some of the papers that I thought I might use, and I pulled some of the ephemera out that I thought I might use. I have it all out and ready for me on my table, but I pulled the ones out that I thought might fit this collection best. And I just love this gorgeous paper. It is yellow with some peach in it, and I really liked it. So much so that I thought for sure this was what I was going to use for my background paper. And I even used some peach cardstock and cut out some die cuts using my Silhouette Cameo, cut out a cut file, using my Silhouette Cameo, thinking I was going to use these die cuts that you see to the left there on the screen. However, I don't end up using those, and I also don't end up using this paper as you see it here. So follow me along this journey. I kind of took my time getting to the end here. So if this is your first time on my channel, I am going to be making lots of decisions in this layout, and so because of that, I end up taking a little bit longer, but I wanted you all to see my decision-making process because this is how I create. So I ended up switching to a different yellow paper. I decided that this yellow paper with the small stripe here worked better with the photo. I felt like my photo was kind of getting lost in all those beautiful flowers. So I decided to kind of start over. And this time I am using this little yellow stripe, which is also from the same collection and also very pretty paper. I'm sticking with the idea that I'm going to maybe use these frames, but I changed that out later. And I do like this little card. The card says something on it about growing, and I end up actually changing the card later, but I use this card, but I change the words. So you'll see how I do that in a little bit. So I'm still thinking that I might be using those peach cutouts that I have over on the left that I used my Cameo to create. And so I decided if I'm going to do that, I need these little peach flowers that are in this paper. So this is where I go down the fussy cutting hole. Because if you follow my channel at all, you know that I do fussy cut a lot. I really enjoy I buy paper knowing that I'm going to, that one I will fussy cut. I'll get this one I will cut these out. I end up doing that, and I know that I'm going to do that on a lot of layouts. So I'm not going to make you watch me fussy cut all of these things, but at this point, the reason that I'm fussy cutting these particular flowers is because there wasn't a lot of that peach in some of the other things that I thought were appropriate for this layout. And I had already cut out those little flower leaves, I guess, that are over on the left there, and they're peach, and so I wanted to pull something else that was peach. So I thought I have to cut those flowers out, which I do end up using the flowers. In fact, I end up using a lot of flowers. So what I'm doing right now off camera here is I am finding a couple other papers that I was like, ooh, I know that I have more flowers, and I am now going to fussy cut all these flowers. I didn't do all of them, but what I did do was this paper actually is a 12 by 12 paper, and I went ahead and I cut around the outside. Use my paper trimmer, just cut the middle out, basically. I cut the middle out so that I could use the middle to fussy cut, and I still have the whole outside of that paper that I could use as a border on a layout sometime if I wanted to. I have plenty of paper, and I shouldn't worry about wasting it, but I just really liked the paper on both sides, and so I wanted to make sure that I didn't waste it. So I ended up using 2 different papers that have flowers on them to fussy cut all of these flowers that you can see there. And then I decided that I really wanted to use some of this striped paper to bring in some of those other colors that are in the flowers. At this point, I'm still thinking that I might be using that peach, the die cut or the cut file. And so this is another way to get a little bit of peach into the layout. All right, so I'm just adding some tissue paper behind my photo, which I do. It's just plain gift tissue paper, which I do for almost every layout. It's just a little something to separate the photo from the rest of the layout. Just gives it a little home, and it starts my layers. And sometimes I only use that, and sometimes I put a bunch of other layers behind my photograph. The other thing that I did is I just used a little bit of craft foam to pop my photo up off of the page. And now I'm trying to figure out how I want to arrange these flowers. The things that are going through my mind, you saw me pointing to that bright, that darker pink flower. And I realized as I was creating that I really only had one kind of bigger, dark pink flower. And I felt like it was out of balance and I needed one for the other side. I do have the smaller pink flowers, but I wanted another bigger one. So I had these stickers, the puffy stickers right there that I was planning on possibly using as part of my title. But then I saw that pink flower on there, so I decided to use that. Pulled another one off there that said bloom and put that on the card. I just liked the way that looked better. Add a little dimension there, and to be honest, it added a pop of that green that is in all the leaves, and I liked that being on the card as well. So I went back to some of the papers and cut out a few more little things, a leaf here, another flower there, and now I'm just kind of trying to get everything situated. I am using one of the vellum flowers. I don't know if you can tell, I did purposely put that on the white. It's to the lower left of my layout. I put it on the white so that you would see through white and not the stripes or anything like that. These cute little flags are from the ephemera pack, and they say wonderful things on them. Like this one says, "You are so loved," and I decided I really wanted to use that one. Partly because of the saying, but also because it was just another pop of that darker pink. So now I'm getting close to getting ready to start glue things down, and I was thinking I might put some black behind my photo, but I decided I was going to keep it the way that it was. These little labels came in the ephemera pack, and so I was thinking I would put one little layer under there, like a little one little label under there, like a layer, and I would put my date on that. And then I found this cut apart sheet, and I ended up cutting out a yellow one. I tried this blue one out first, but I ended up going with the yellow one. It brings some more yellow then down to the bottom. I just wanted to use that wonderful the sticker that says wonderful as part of my title, so I didn't want to use a pink one under there because they would be right next to each other. So I ended up going with the yellow. All right. So at this point, you kind of saw me move my hands, and I was like, okay, I think I'm really close here now to what I want. So I think I end up actually using all three of those little flags at some point, the little banners, I guess they are. So what I was doing there with my fingers, I was thinking I might do a little cut up at the top of the page. And so I was kind of mapping that out for myself. And I decided to go ahead and make sure that I get wonderful sunshine down straight, get my date down, and get some of these things. I start kind of by working from the inside of my layout to glue some things down. And then I end up what I'm trying to avoid here, to be honest, is if I move everything off the page, then I'm not going to get it back on the page the way that I want it. So I'm going to try to move as little things as possible and be able to still glue this stuff down. So I am using my tape runner to glue some of these things straight to the back. And I will also use some of that same foam adhesive to pop up some of the flowers so that it gives a little bit of added dimension there's that sticker that I got off the sticker sheet. I just cut it right off cut the plastic right with it so that I could move it around the page. And now I was ready to go ahead and stick that down. So at this point, I know where I need to add some tangled thread to my page, because that is something that I do. I end up changing some of this out, I think, later, but before I glue it down, I need to make sure I get that thread in there. So I'm going to go ahead and glue the photo down, which usually is the very last thing that I glue. So I'm kind of doing some of this backwards today, but that's okay. I wanted my photo to be straight. I was thinking I would have my photo straight and maybe the card a little crooked. Wasn't sure how that was going to work out, but so I'm using my glue bottle, my liquid glue. Anytime, I use it lots of times for lots of things, but specifically if I'm using the foam adhesive, I almost always use the liquid glue. It just seems to stick better for me. All right, so, oh yeah, there's the other banner that I add in there. That one says Precious Memories, and I actually ended up putting it up there because I needed a little bit more of that green color up there. Okay, so I think I sped this up pretty well here, but I am going to be just gluing everything down at this point. You'll see me grab some of that foam adhesive. It's purple. You can see it there to the right. One side has adhesive right on it. So I am able to just cut a little bit off, stick it to whatever piece I'm trying to pop up, and then glue it down. This was hard to get off because it's script. But I really like how this one, I really like the title, Wonderful Sunshine. I just liked it. And I like the gold, adding the gold in there. There really isn't anything else that's actually gold on the page. There was a lot of other gold elements in the ephemera pack and such, but I didn't end up using any of those. I'm not really sure why, but anyway, either way, I like the way it ends up. So oh my goodness, I think I throw a little hissy fit coming up here pretty soon because I cannot get my thread to work. So I haven't kept taking it out, tangling it back up, putting it underneath, taking it out. And I think I'm messing around with yellow right now, and I end up changing it, pulling it out and using pink. Maybe that is pink. I can't see it from. Oh, the other thing is I was gluing some stuff down. I ended up with some space between the card, between the picture, the card, my date, and all of that. And so I ended up having to put a flower there. So then I had to put another flower to so it wouldn't be by itself. So it wasn't lonely. So I think I have most everything popped up that I want to pop up. Oh, nope, guess not. And now I'm going through with my liquid glue and gluing the rest of my things down. That's my trash there that you see. It's a little container that I just leave on my desk, and then I can throw things away. So here was my kind of idea that I thought I would do. I oftentimes will rough up the edges of things or tear some corners or do some things like that. And I decided I was going to cut out part of that and put this paper in there, and maybe it ruined it. I don't know. Like, I can't decide if I like it or not. It's just a little bit different than what I usually do. It's not horrible. And I do like the layout, how it turned out in the end. I mean, I really do. But this part here, as I was going, I really liked how it looked as it was going. And then when I was finished, I was like, that was not at all what I had in my brain. But that's okay. It still turned out okay. So usually, a lot of times, I'll just do some ripping, far less ripping than what you see there. So just a little bit is peeking out. And this one, I wanted just a little bit more of that striped paper. So I did that. It's okay. It's not, my favorite thing, but it'll work. So the last little banner there says, "Remember this." And then I used my typewriter off screen there to type Maquoketa Cave State Park, which is where we are. And that is our summer for real. So when we got the challenge, feels like summer, I was like, I am going to totally do something at a park. So I have these little tiny stickers, and I noticed right away in there that they had some little butterflies. And so if you follow my channel often and see my videos, you probably know that I put a butterfly on every page. I think every page that I do of my daughter, at least I try to. And there's reasons for that. If you want to know more about that, I have a layout that kind of talks about that, and I'll try to link that. Hopefully it'll show up in the corner here if you want to go to that. And I will probably do that for the rest of my scrapbooking life. So I'm adding puffy stickers, roughing up the edges, and I'm just about finished here. There it is, my final project. And here are some close-ups. I love all those layers of flowers. And my title is pretty fun too. So thanks a lot for stopping by. Make sure that you check out all of the links below of the other friends that decided to participate in this blog hop, or actually YouTube hop. And if you like what you see, please go ahead and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video.